Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to pluck a wig. Let's get into it. Okay, so first I like to put something white underneath or on top of my mannequin head and underneath my wig, just so I can kind of see the knots a little clearer. So I'm using like a little skirt or whatever just to put under. You can use an old t-shirt, use whatever, just use something white so you can clearly see the knots, and then place the wig right on top of it. Make sure it's secured. Yeah, so boom. It's very, very important that you have a wax stick, y'all. Like, wax sticks are so important to what wigs look like. So I began by hot combing or wax sticking. That doesn't make sense for real. But putting a wax stick around the wig and then hot combing all the hairs back so I can make sure that all the hairs are kind of out of the way and don't kind of get plucked when they shouldn't be plucked, you know? But again, it's very important that you have a wax stick because that's what kind of holds the wigs together. So I'm using this type of tweezer, the slanted one. And then I'm going to have a comb as well. So that's really all you really need: comb, tweezers, mannequin head, something white, and then the actual wig. So I take the first layer I start side by side. So I take the first layer of the side and kind of pull it out of the way about 1/2 inch. And then, as you can kind of tell, I'm just taking little lines and plucking in a straight line, kind of giving that natural edge look. So the whole goal here is to just thin out the edges so that it looks more natural, because realistically, who has all that hair clumped up in their edges? You know, edges are usually a little thinner than the rest of the hair. So you want to make it look as such for a realistic wig install. So I'm just going through, taking straight lines back, and then I'm just kind of brushing that hair or combing that hair back. And then I'm going to take a second section, again about 1/2 inch. Once I get that first section all plucked through, I'm going to take that section and combine it with the first one, and then do the same straight line, straight back, making sure everything just looks natural. And yeah, that's literally all I do. There's kind of like a method to it. Just any area that looks a little thicker and not as natural, that is the area that you should be plucking and just kind of thinning out. And yeah, straight lines back, almost like that fork method, but not so forky, more natural, because I have seen the fork method. I'm not really too big of a fan of the fork method, just because I feel like the sections of the fork method are a little thicker than what they should be, or like the lines, you know? So make them thin. I like to make them a little thinner so that they look more natural. So the overall goal is naturalness here. So I take about 3 sections total. Once I finish up with this section, y'all know I be stuttering and stuff in my voiceovers. But anywho, I'm taking that third section. That one was a little bit bigger than 1/2 inch, but essentially you want to do about 1/2 inch for your sections when you combine them each. And then I'm literally doing the same thing with that. So first section, get it out the way, pluck the section right behind it, straight lines, making everything thinner but also still natural. Again, the key word here is natural. So taking that third section, doing the same thing, plucking straight back. So once that is all done and I have done all three, I push all the sections back to the first one, because if you notice, I did not do any plucking on that first section. So I get that all back. I hot comb it back so that all the hairs are, in place. And then I do the same method with the straight lines on that first one. I do this only because I feel like if I were to start there, I wouldn't be able to see clearly as to what would need to be plucked on that first row, being that is the first row, being that the first row is most important, because that is what's really seen when the wig is installed. So that was the whole point of taking that first section and getting it out of the way first, and then putting it back later and touching that last. So that way I can just kind of see, what areas are still a little bulky, whatnot. And yeah, just going through really by eye at this point and just kind of making those little lines, making everything, again, very natural. We're going for natural tease. We're going for, this is my hair growing out of my scalp, period. And then I do the same thing on the other side. I also do it in the middle. I don't know what happened, to be honest, but I do the same thing on all three sides. So I do side, middle, side. So this is me on the other side, doing the same thing after that first section, plucking in the back, straight line, taking that second section, doing the same thing, so on and so forth, till I've done three, sections, and then push those sections back, literally the same way that I do it on the other side. And that's really what makes it natural. It's not much to plucking. It's really a technique thing that will grow, because honestly, I know that my plucking technique currently isn't still the best, but I'm growing. It's definitely gotten so much better, because if you look back at my old plucking videos, I have developed a much clearer technique that gives real results and actually melts when I install it. So, and I know that I'll probably do another plucking tutorial later, just because technique changes, but this is a good technique just to kind of start with. Again, brush everything back and then touch up that last section that you pushed back in the beginning. Make that very natural looking. Pluck down, pluck until you feel like you shouldn't be plucking no more. Like, don't over pluck, but pluck until you feel like this is good. This is going to give scalp when I put it on my head or my client's head, whose ever head you're putting it on. Okay. And then once that's all plucked, this is giving, wait, hold on. It's not giving just yet. I was still plucking. Give it 1 second. Okay, this is giving what your wig should look like. Okay, so I hope this was clear. I hope this helped you all. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Come back for another video in a couple of weeks, and I will see you guys then. Bye.